Well, hey y'all, Big E here from Texas. Another beautiful Sunday. Haven't seen you in a while, and to be quite honest, I've been doing my projects without the camera rolling, but that's Elvis. He's kind of taking over the voice of the yard over Cluck. You can hear Cluck occasionally, but Elvis loves to sing. Anywho, I had a project that I was working on. I've already started it. But I thought it would be really cool and something that y'all might find interest in. So that was Cluck. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make another spool project. We love to kick it old spool. So my plan is to turn one of these spools here into a table / little bit of storage, outdoor festivities with some benches. So what I've done is I've cut one of these spools. You see this right here? I made a circle that went all the way around the thing, and I cut me little benches. Like yay. I was able to get 3 of them out of one spool. So these are going to be little benches to sit down on. Then the base of the table is just the bottom of it. I just cut the circle around there. This here, I had a little patchwork I had to do. So all I've done is glued a piece of wood on here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it and route it. When it's all done, it'll blend in real nice. But this is going to sit like this with the table coming up, probably a door to a little cubby storage in there. But something I can put out in the yard. A few people can sit down. We can enjoy the afternoon, have some cool beverages right there at the table, maybe have a snack or two. But stay tuned, this should be fun. So I'm going to attempt to go ahead and cut this patch out so I can get it routed up, but got to be super careful not to split it. The beauty about this is that it doesn't have to be perfect, so all the little scars on it's just going to add to the character. Not perfect, but close enough. A little wagon wheel. So this is going to be our top to our table. And our next step is going to be to go ahead and cut in a hole for our beverage bucket. Okay, trick of the trade. I need to make a 9-inch perfect circle. So I found my center point, put a screw in there, and now I have this string that is my right size, and I just follow it around. And my bucket circle. For me, a Sawzall is the best choice for cutting these spools up. It's pretty versatile, pretty easy to cut an angle cut with it, and it's a big, thick piece of wood. This particular Sawzall is particularly good because your trigger's not on the end of it, so your center of gravity is perfect for cutting stuff out. So let's get started. All right, so we're getting ready to assemble the top. But this spool here is just nailed together. So what I like to do is on the underside of it, just put some screws periodically, not long ones, just a little 1 5/8" screw. Core board, these grip real good. And I'm just going to do it periodically to help make sure that this wood never comes loose. But you put it on the bottom side so you don't have to look at the screws. Here we go. Okay, so it's going pretty good. I've got the base pretty much framed up. I went ahead and boxed in the bottom and the top. What I did was I put a piece of sheet metal behind it. I went ahead and bent the curve in it, same as this radius here, and I screwed that on the inside, and that's what's actually holding the top of this. And I'll do the same to support the door. Now I've added this is actually the center wood out of other smaller spools, not big spools like this one, but this right here, I just inserted right here on this opposite side just to give an added bit of support for the hinges that I'm going to put on. And I'm going to do the same thing to this side here, just to beef it up a little bit so that we can, you know, put some kind of mechanism on it if we want to. But let's keep going. Now I've pre-bent my hinges. You can see it's got a radius on it. That's going to be the same as this doorway here. Pretty good, pretty close. Well guys, we're already close. Went ahead and mounted my door. Nice little compartment there. I think I'm going to have to probably fasten it to the ground to keep it from tipping over because this top is pretty heavy. But I'm tired. We're going to call it a night. And next time we'll get these benches finished up and get her sealed up and put her out in the yard. Dropped it. Good thing I put it together good. Appreciate you guys. Well, y'all, this is stool number 2 of 3. So we ended up going with a X design for the base, just for stability. Then I drilled a hole in the same spot on each of these legs, and I ran an all thread all the way through with a piece of conduit in the center, just to stabilize it even more. Got a piece of 1x here. We have actually 3 screws on the bottom here, and then 2 additional screws here. The most important thing to remember when dealing with hardwood is to pre-drill your holes, because if you do not, you're going to split the wood. Put my base down there. I just kind of eyeball it. Get it how I like it. Now on these legs here, since I'm drilling into the side of it, I went with a finish nail, or a finish screw rather. Pretty happy with how it turned out. We got a little beverage storage right there in the center, but I'd like to go ahead and give her a rough sand, go ahead and knock off all the rough edges. And he's excited about the new table. He knows we'll be spending more time out there, so wins all around. But anywho, we're going to sand her down real good. Dude, let me finish. Sand her down real good and get her oiled up and and put out in the yard. He's not gonna leave me alone until I finish. I got her sanded down, filled in the holes with wood putty, and end up sanding it with the teak oil. It's the same stuff that we used on the Keeping It Old Spool lawn chair we did earlier in the year. But I'm real happy with it. Like I said, it is a little bit top heavy, so what I've done is I took an old dog tie out I don't need anymore, and I've cut me a big old washer. This is to sit right down the center of the spool, and then it'll just corkscrew into the ground, and that should keep it, that should stabilize it and keep it from tipping over. But anywho, we're gonna get this sucker installed in the yard and see how she looks. Well guys, we got her finished up, and I think she looks great. Put her out here in the chime garden next to the Keeping It Old Spool lawn chair we did earlier in the year. But it turned out real good. If you just move your beverage table, you can see our tie down that we corkscrewed into the bottom there. Secured it real well. But you know what? This project sparked another project, so check this out. Well, before we could even finish our first table, I did a teaser, sent it out to friends and family, and immediately got some hits. I had a buddy that hit me up, and he loved the table, loved the beverage station in the center, but it was not adequate. He wanted something for a party type scenario. So I thought about it, and this is the design that we came up with. So we just had a small beverage bucket in the center of the one that we made, but for the party table, you do a 5-gallon bucket. Fill it up with your beverage of choice, ice it down, drop it in the hole, and when it's done, when you need a new one, you pull this one out, stick the new one in. So we also, if you look on the bottom, we have little loops coming out, mule tape coming out of the bottom of the spool at 4 different locations. That's actually just to stake down the spool. It's a little bit top heavy. That way you can ensure it doesn't fall over on anybody. But I think it's a great design and might turn into a good little side lick for me. So I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.